What's it really like inside the mind of a manipulator? We see the damage they cause, but rarely do we look at the chaos within. Their mind is not a fortress of confidence, but a storm of insecurity and fear. Every interaction is a battle. Every relationship a contest for control. This isn't power, it's panic. Vulnerability feels like a death sentence to them. So, they build a false self, always on guard, scanning for threats, desperate to maintain control. Their behaviors aren't about evil genius. They're frantic attempts to soothe inner turmoil. The fortress they build to keep others out also locks them in, cutting off real connection and joy. They can never relax, never be authentic, always trapped in a role. Ironically, their fear of abandonment ensures their isolation. By pushing others away to feel safe, they end up alone, imprisoned by their own defenses. The manipulator's mind is not a place of strength, but of endless, exhausting struggle. Understanding this is the first step to seeing why they do what they do. At the core of every manipulator is a paralyzing fear, not of spiders or heights, but of being exposed as worthless. This fear often starts in childhood, where love was conditional and self-worth was always in question. To survive, they learn to control everything and everyone, hiding their perceived inadequacy. Their arrogance is a mask for deep insecurity, a fragile ego that shatters at criticism. They crave constant validation because they have no stable self-worth. No praise or achievement ever fills the emptiness inside. They don't know who they are, without others' admiration or fear. This emptiness is a hunger that nothing external can satisfy. Fear breeds insecurity. Insecurity creates a false self, and living as that false self leads to profound emptiness. It's a vicious cycle. Control is their desperate attempt to manage unbearable emotions. They're not simply cruel, they're trapped in a loop, using manipulation to soothe pain that never leaves. Their actions are a doomed attempt to fix an internal problem with external solutions. The tragedy is, it never works. Manipulation is armor, a shield against pain. Every tactic, from gaslighting to love bombing, is about deflecting threats to their fragile ego. Gaslighting lets them rewrite reality, shifting shame onto others and restoring their sense of control. The silent treatment isn't just punishment. It's a way to regain power when they feel threatened. These behaviors force others to scramble for approval, reinforcing the manipulator's dominance. Ultimately, they're externalizing an internal war, projecting their chaos onto relationships. Partners and family become stand-ins for their own inner demons. By keeping others off balance, they create an external world that mirrors their internal turmoil. The manipulator's shield works, but only by deepening their isolation and pain. Their world is one of constant defense, never peace. The cost is a life spent fighting shadows. The price of control is steep: chronic anxiety, isolation, and emptiness. Manipulators live in hypervigilance, always scanning for threats, never at peace. Their relationships are arrangements, not connections. People are tools, not companions. Surrounded by others, they're still fundamentally alone. The emptiness inside can't be filled by achievements or admiration. The thrill of control fades quickly, leaving only restlessness and dissatisfaction. Shame is always lurking beneath the surface, no matter how much they deflect it. In quiet moments, the truth of their actions and emptiness creeps in, fueling depression or rage. The energy spent keeping shame at bay drains any chance for real contentment. Their fortress is a prison, and they are its only inmate. The more they seek control, the more they lose themselves. The emotional toll is inescapable. The manipulator's world revolves around hiding vulnerability. To them, vulnerability equals humiliation and abandonment. Their arrogance and need to be right are just armor, projecting strength to mask fear. Apologizing is impossible. It would mean exposing their flaws. Instead, they deflect, blame, or offer non-apologies like, "I'm sorry you feel that way." Projection is another tool. They accuse others of their own faults, putting victims on the defensive. This keeps their own insecurities hidden and shifts focus away from their behavior. The illusion of strength must be fiercely protected, so they isolate victims from outside support. Friends and family are threats. They might see through the act. By controlling the narrative, the manipulator ensures their image remains unchallenged. Their world becomes a closed loop, where only their version of reality exists. The grand illusion is preserved, but at a devastating cost. Let's see manipulation in action. Alex comes home excited about a promotion. Jamie, the manipulator, feels threatened and undermines Alex's confidence with subtle doubts. Alex's joy turns to anxiety. Jamie's insecurity is soothed, control restored. In a family, a manipulative mother guilt trips her son for spending holidays elsewhere, weaponizing his love to control him. In the workplace, a boss feels threatened by a talented employee and sabotages them with backhanded praise and exclusion. In each case, the manipulator isn't acting out of pure malice, but out of desperation to manage their own pain. They export their negative emotions, creating chaos outside to distract from chaos within. Jamie makes Alex insecure to soothe their own insecurity. The mother makes her son feel guilty to avoid her own feelings of abandonment. The boss sabotages to protect their fragile ego. Manipulation is a clumsy attempt to regulate unbearable feelings. Understanding this doesn't excuse the harm, but it reveals the desperate logic behind their actions. The cycle continues. Pain inside, pain inflicted. The manipulator's world is one of silent warfare, always fighting, never at peace. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to breaking free. In the end, the manipulator rules a lonely kingdom of one. Their control isolates them, their victories are hollow. Life becomes an exhausting performance with no real audience. Their need for dominance is driven by fear and emptiness, not strength. They inflict pain on others to escape their own, but the damage is real and lasting. The manipulator is both the architect and the first victim of their own prison. This doesn't excuse abuse. Accountability is essential. But understanding the roots of manipulation helps victims depersonalize the harm. It was never about your worth. It was about their brokenness. Healing begins with this realization. Change is possible, but rare. It requires facing the very vulnerability they fear most. Most never start this journey, but knowledge is power. By understanding, we protect ourselves and break the cycle.